Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 141 is brought to you by Chloe Underhill, Jen Beast, and Dogbird, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are going to talk about our favorite things from each Animal Crossing game, and then discuss the rotating cast of characters in New Horizons. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hi Chewy, I'm doing pretty awesome. What about yourself?
Awesome. I'm doing great too. I've been having a good week. And then Nina, hi, how are you?
I'm doing super good. I'm glad you guys are doing well too.
Cool, yeah. I'm glad. I mean, it was a pretty eventful week, I guess, for some of us. Others, maybe it was just another regular week. I don't know. They all start to feel a little bit like the same and a little bit different. But I did want to mention today we are recording live on YouTube, so if the show sounds a bit different right now, it's because it's not the full recording. Hopefully the sound is good for everybody listening live, and for anybody listening later on Tuesdays when this usually comes out, it should sound pretty normal. So yeah, I guess I wanted to talk about something really quickly before we get too far into these topics, because somebody sent us a letter, I want to say this past week. I sent it to both of you on the 14th, I believe. But James Anderson said, "Good morning. I started listening to your podcast just a little bit after the release of New Horizons and very much enjoy your discussions. You bring up minigames a lot as a big missing feature. I don't know if it's been brought up before, but every time I enter the airport, I can't help but notice that there just happens to be exactly 8 chairs, which of course is how many people can be on an island at any given time. Do you think that this is a coincidence or a hint of things to come? I imagine it would work similar to how it works when KK comes. KK has all those chairs in front of him. Once everyone sits down, KK begins, and all the characters automatically stand up. Maybe with the airport, once all players on the island sit down, you will get to group travel somewhere else automatically. So James is bringing up a very good point here, and for some reason, I've never counted out the chairs at the airport, and of course there's 8 of them, right?
Yeah. I love this.
So I guess, I mean, they essentially commented this right after we talked about missing features, and of course, mini games is a big one for people right now, especially when they're maybe at that point in the game where they're not so excited about what's been going on lately and they need something else to do. And the multiplayer, you can visit each other and see each other's islands, go shopping and that sort of thing. But once that's over, like, what do we do after that? We've got to play some mini games. That's what. So I guess, what do you think, Sergio? Do you think this is a sign that mini games are going to come back?
I think so. I definitely hope so. And one thing about the mini games, keeping in mind, they work great in New Leaf, but I think they're gonna work even better if they add them on the Switch. And here's hoping.
Yeah, I really hope so. And then Nina, what are you thinking about it?
I mean, when I saw this comment and it was pointed out, I couldn't believe I hadn't counted them either. It's so exciting. And then people in the chat are saying that, the left side of the airport is pretty filler space looking at the moment. So they're hoping maybe a second desk could be going in over there. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I wonder who would take over that little desk for travel. Maybe, I don't know. Lyle, he kind of was the insurance salesman in Wild World, followed by, a Happy Home Academy representative and everything. But he gives me like sleazy airport ticket sales vibes for sure.
Or Cap'n.
What was that?
Or Cap'n. He could be in charge of chartering you off to an island where you play games.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, he pretty much did that before.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be interesting though? Because we are seeing a lot of these older characters kind of get replaced. What if it was Cap'n's daughter? What was her name? Was she Leilani?
I think so.
Yeah, what if it was his daughter
That would be
instead?
so cute.
Because you know what? She would play the role perfectly. She was all about ripping us off in on the island. Have you ever sold things to that little girl?
Yes.
She does not give you much at all.
She needs to go work for Lyle.
Oh yeah, for sure. They would be great friends. A lot of people are also mentioning Porter, and yeah,
Oh,
I mean Porter is
yeah.
definitely a possibility. Just being that character before, he brought it back in New Leaf after having some time away. But yeah, Porter's a good choice. Or if he doesn't come back, maybe they'll do like a little villager update, and he'll come back as Champ. I don't know how many people know, but
Oh.
there's a monkey named Champ in Wild World, and I believe City Folk, but I think Wild World for sure. But basically, people feel like he looks so much like Porter that they just kind of assume that that's him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
he
So,
was in the movie too, wasn't he?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Champ was in the movie. Always, he was always a champion in that movie too. Like he could outrun everybody. He was doing all the hard, heavy lifting whenever they were searching for like the gears and things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a good character to go with.
In New Leaf, when you guys were playing online games with people at the island, did you have a chair you would always sit in before you would go off to one of the mini games?
I always made sure to pick one with a cushion.
Me too.
I don't know why I was particular about it, but apparently I was, and that's exactly what I wanted to do.
I would always go bottom left. I don't know why. That was my chair.
Oh.
That's great. Sergio, did you pick one at all, or did you care?
No, I don't think so. But I was probably like near the middle just to like enter right away. But yeah, no.
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, let's get into the main parts of the show. So I wanted to start off by talking about each of our favorite things from each Animal Crossing game. And I was pretty strict with you. I wrote in all caps, red, bold letters, pick one thing for each game that you can talk or that you want to talk about, So I've listed every Animal Crossing game except for, everybody's favorite Animal Crossing Clock, Animal Crossing Calculator. I figured we didn't need to talk about those too much since there weren't too many new features in those games. I'm just kidding. Those are just little apps, callbacks for anybody who had like a Nintendo DSi or something. But yeah, so I did list all of the mainline games and all of the spin-offs, and I posted them in the order that they released, so we're going to talk about them in that order. But the first game is Population Growing, as we like to call it. Unofficial title, should be the official title.
Yes.
This was the very first Animal Crossing game that got introduced outside of Japan. So we were no longer playing just the games that they sent us. We were only Animal Crossing now from that point on. So, okay. So Population Growing. Sergio, what was your favorite thing in that game?
My favorite thing was the music from the very first Animal Crossing. I guess I don't know how much of it is, nostalgia tying it to our introduction to the series, but the music in that game it's so good. All the different hours I think they're all very unique. They're really not tied to like a main theme like we have been getting usually, and they're all so good. You can listen to them on repeat at any moment. They're really good.
I agree 100% with you. Like the music is something that we're never going to probably return to in any Animal Crossing game. And it's kind of like when I talk about this, I think about how Animal Crossing has changed over the years, how things have been, what's the word? Kind of evolving with the series. I feel like they just about. Well, they pinpointed that they liked the relaxation aspect of it. Players were really fond of that type of gameplay, And so the music has definitely been more like, here is this really nice aesthetic aesthetically pleasing sound that goes with what you're doing in this game, because like the first game has these really funky sounds, these really funny kind of weird things going on. I always like to point out, I think it's 1 p.m. where the cats randomly meow in the track, you know. And so I don't know, I feel like there's so much character in the hourly music of that game for sure. And I would really love for it to go kind of in that direction someday, but I definitely see why they haven't. And, you know, there's honestly some, you know, a lot of people really started the game with Wild World, so there's a lot of appeal for that more relaxing music too. So it's hard to pick, but personally, I just always want to go back to that population growing music. And then Nina, I guess what was your favorite thing?
Well, if you guys remember, I didn't get to play much of this game because the movement of the map and the play around the map gave me migraines for some reason. So I don't have many good memories, but I do really like how the fireworks would reflect off the water.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, I got to see that recently because apparently fireworks happen on 4th of July in the US version of Population Growing. And I've been, you know, playing through each of the games throughout the month of July for some research that I'm doing for a video. And it was a surprise to me because I always remembered, oh, August, that's when fireworks are in Animal Crossing, but not in Population Growing. During July, there's some fireworks for the 4th. So it was a surprising thing for sure.
Yeah. I wish I could play it more because it looks adorable, but I can't. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's pretty funky, but yeah, I mean, I guess just to give a little bit more background with that game, the camera movement, it took you from, it was called the acre system. Essentially, you would move from acre to acre and the camera would shift to that spot with you. And it was kind of to like reduce loading times, kind of have the whole world show up at once and not make you feel like it's too big, or I don't know why they did it, but regardless, you couldn't shift the camera in any way. You couldn't look up at the sky. That was something that was introduced in Wild World when the top screen was literally the sky. So there was no way to look at the sky. So to have fireworks and have a little work around it, they made them appear in the reflections of the water. So it was really cool. It was a really cool little feature, and it's pretty too.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go ahead and move on to Wild World, since we've already mentioned it a lot. These two games came out very close together. I want to say, well, not too close. Population Growing was 2001, a pretty late 2001, and then Wild World was 2005, I believe. So they were close enough together. I mean, we had a huge gap between New Leaf and New Horizons, and that's probably what the gaps are going to be like from here on out. But Wild World did a lot of things differently, so I'm really wondering, like, what was your favorite feature in Wild World? I guess we can start with you again, Sergio.
Well, I actually, as you might know, I didn't play Wild World that much, so I'm actually gonna go with the movie. If I can't remember if the movie was made for Wild World or for City Folk.
It was for Wild World.
Okay, I thought so. Then I would go with the movie. If I have to pick a feature from the game, I would go with the Pin World.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then the movie is great. I mean, it's the only Animal Crossing movie we've got, and it's also the best movie ever made.
Yes.
So it works. What's your favorite, Nina? Because I know this is the game that you started with, right?
I know, and I'm having a hard time picking only one. But I think it's the music, like you guys were saying before. It was my first game, well, mostly my first game, and so I was really nostalgic for it. And anytime, especially like listening to the music in the movie, it's based off of the game music. It's just so good. So that's got to be my answer.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, like there's a lot of appeal to that music and that the kind of the vibes you get from it. It's definitely really relaxing. It's really calm and easy to listen to. And I definitely still put on that soundtrack every once in a while, you know? For me, my favorite, and this is such a small little thing. I honestly probably should have picked that, like, it introduced Wi-Fi play so you could go visit each
Mm.
other, but I didn't pick that. Instead, I picked villager houses
Mhm.
because to this day, like, if you go back to Wild World, it's not the prettiest looking game. I mean, it was on the DS. It's not a very powerful console. It doesn't have a very good frame rate at all. It's slow. It's very slow. But
Yes.
even through that, like seeing the little villagers' homes, like the exteriors specifically, I think they have the cutest exterior style of any of the games still. Like I still think they're adorable. So
Yeah, they're
the
super
villager houses are
intricate.
great.
Yeah. And if you guys
Yeah.
remember, in the wintertime, they would get the holiday lights on their houses.
Yes, that was beautiful. And I
Hmm.
love that. Like there were so many little the holidays were really unique in that game. I mean, they couldn't
Yeah.
fit in the regular staple holidays like the ones we celebrate in real life, the Halloweens, the Toy Days, the harvest festivals, that sort of thing. But what they did with some of the other ones were pretty cute. It was
Hmm.
endearing, you know? Having lights up on all the houses during that time, I really hope we get to see that in this new game because it's so good. It just looks so good. And New Horizons just looks so beautiful. The lights are going to look amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed by it all the time. Um, cool. So yeah, I mean, Wild World has a lot of great things going on. It was a huge starting point for everybody, for most people, I'd say. Far more people bought Wild World than bought Population Growing. So I'm going to credit that game for being the one to get people into Animal Crossing. But
True.
Yeah.
True.
yeah, so I mean, on a different note though, City Folk is a very strange game. I don't know what exactly caused its general lack of success. It was still better, more successful than the population growing game, but it overall didn't get leave a huge impression on people, and part of it probably was because it was a lot like Wild World. It was very much based off of that. So let's talk about City Folk. Is there anything that you like from City Folk that maybe Wild World didn't do? Sergio, we'll start with you again.
Yeah, for me it was the city. Funny enough, because it's like I kind of think of it like a hub area, you like a secondary area apart from your town, but you can access it very easily whenever you want. I liked it a lot. There's a lot to do there, and then it changes as the years go by, as the year goes by, and then the one in New Leaf, of course. But yeah, I kind of missed that secondary area in New Horizons.
Mm.
Yeah, and then it definitely felt like a feature that was adopted in New Leaf, but wasn't hidden behind like four loading screens. But it did start it all, and it did have some really unique things going on. Things like the auction house, which I don't think anybody ever really figured out how to use it properly. But even then, like I don't know if you successfully connected to like what was it like We Connect 24. I don't know what they called it.
Yes.
But if you successfully connected your game to like the online features, the Happy Home Academy would actually display some new rooms in that section that were from other towns. Like they weren't necessarily on your own town, but they were from someone else. And
Oh.
for a little bit, I did get to enjoy that, like seeing my friends' home, like kind of their best room in their house show up in my city. And I was like, this is actually really cool. And also kind of feels like that predecessor to the Street Pass feature in New
Oh
Leaf, you know?
yeah.
True.
Yeah. I don't think it let you order things from there, but you could like click on them and see what they were. So if you were looking for anything specific, you knew what to ask for, you know?
Hmm.
Cool. And then I guess Nina, what was your favorite thing from City Folk?
Hmm. Um, I'm gonna have to go along with your city stuff because I really enjoyed Red's little secret hideout that he had. It
Yeah.
was really hard to get into, and then you had to like ask villagers for a secret password, and you had to type it in perfectly to get in there. Um, I just have really good memories of trying super hard to figure out how to get into Red's place.
Yeah, I mean that was a weird situation where how did it even work? I barely remember. I feel like somebody had to invite you from your town, right? Like they had to
Hmm.
give you that special letter from Red, I
Yeah.
think.
And then still he would only show up like on random nights after 6 p.m. or something like that.
Mm,
It was
yeah,
tricky.
so it was a weird thing, but it was really cool.
Hmm.
And I want to say his stock kind of stayed the same for a week, I want to say, and
Mm.
then it would change the next week. And I don't know why they chose that, but you know what? Every game is different, so they can do what they want. Cool. So my favorite thing was the gyroid storage. Now this is a feature that is completely unique to City Folk. This didn't return in any of our new games thus far, but essentially if you became good friends with Brewster, if you went pretty regularly, maybe one day you would walk in and have a gyroid in your pocket. And if you talk to him, he would point it out to you. And all of a sudden you got in deep with Brewster here because they're really, it's very rare that we get a little extra story from these characters, but just to learn that Brewster has a passion for gyroids and is like actively collecting and everything, it was really cool. So, anyways, he would take your gyroids from you and store them, and you could always ask for them back, but basically it gave you like a good place to collect the gyroids. Like, in New Leaf, I kind of tried to capture this by making my upstairs exhibits in the museum gyroid exhibits, but
Yes.
it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same at all. I don't know. There was some charm that we could talk to Brewster in that way. I mean, of course, Brewster got his own like coffee shop and everything in New Leaf, so there were some little extra things with him, and eventually he could unlock those Brewster gyroids, which are the cutest in the
Yes.
world.
They are.
Um, but yeah, like the figuring out that little fact about him in that game was a joy for sure.
It was also super exciting because Brewster speaks so little to begin with. He's very like the strong and silent type. So getting that backstory and seeing him so excited about the gyroids was such a 180 flip. It was adorable.
Yeah, it's true. He's like he doesn't say too much at all. So it's a nice little change of pace for sure.
Hmm.
Cool. So let's get into the big game here. And it's New Leaf, of course, because New Leaf was wildly popular. It's definitely overall a loved game, especially now. I feel like people are loving it a little too much, maybe. Give New Horizons some love. Um, no, I'm just kidding. But New Leaf, yeah, it was a big game for a lot of people. It added so much. It did such a good job with really changing up what we could do in the game. But all right, Sergio, I'm going to let you try to choose here. What was your favorite thing from New Leaf?
Yeah, there's too many, but I'm gonna have to go with the ability to be the mayor. And I feel like that opened up the game the most. It gave you the most control over a lot of things. So yeah, being the mayor was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of that, like the things you could do with the mayor, you could choose your town ordinance, which was one of four options. You could either be really rich, have a beautiful town, or be a late night owl. Was that the one? And an
Yes.
early bird.
Hmm.
So you could change essentially when your shops were open, which was very beneficial for those who maybe don't get off of work before Able Sisters is closed at 9 p.m. in New Horizons. I don't know. Is that an issue? I think so. um, but yeah, like there was a lot of control that you did not have access to, and then placing the public works projects, of course, was a big one. There was not too much freedom around how you could place things, but just the fact that we could was a huge change for the game, you know?
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Nina, I guess what was your favorite thing about New Leaf?
Gosh, this might seem like something really small and trivial, but my favorite thing was that we got a taller character and were able to mix and match clothes more. I loved that I could finally wear pants in
Yes.
New Leaf, and I don't know. I just remember being so excited by the look of the character, especially when we first started seeing like those first images.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know. I just zoomed into your character and I was like, wait, I was literally wearing this shirt before we started recording. I'm glad I changed. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, the characters have essentially maintained this tall model now, because we used to be a lot shorter, and it was mostly because we couldn't change our pants, really, or shoes or anything. But once they added that feature in New Leaf, it gave us so much more that we could do. Like, I'm wearing pants on my character right now. Both of you are wearing shorts, so it's really cool. And then you can really show off, like, the footwear in this game now. Like, there was different footwear in City Folk because you could get your shoes shined by kicks, but outside of that, like it was the same shoe, but now you can really have some cool stylish looks. You could be barefoot,
Yeah.
you can wear some dress shoes, you can wear some boots.
You can look at Sergio's little toes.
I know. He's just wiggling them around. Yeah, so I agree with you. I mean, the characters are going to stay this way. We've seen it throughout each game after New Leaf, especially like Pocket Camp, which it's a mobile game, but it's still a lot of people's first Animal Crossing game, funny enough.
True,
and
yeah.
so they're used to these models already. But it's funny that you mentioned this because I had a friend who he was the friend who I started playing Animal Crossing with, and we spent a lot of time in the game in Population Growing and Wild World. And then after that, he didn't have a Wii, so he'd skipped City Folk. And so once New Leaf came out, he was really excited about it because he did have a 3DS, but he couldn't get into the taller characters. He kind of liked the charm of the shorter ones, but I always told him he's wrong about that. So, so it's okay. It's okay to be wrong about some things. Cool. So I guess my favorite feature in New Leaf, and oh my goodness, do I wish there was a way that we could get this back in some form, but it's Street Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Street Pass. I was very lucky in the time that I played New Leaf. I was in college, so there were a lot of people with 3DSs that I'd pass by during my walks to and from class, And so I would get a lot of homes in my Street Pass. At the time, I was also going to Comic-Con every year, pretty much.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I went to San Diego Comic-Con, which is the international Comic-Con, and you get just people from all over the world. So every night, I would be staying up so much later than I should have, especially because I knew I was going to wake up very early in the morning to get back to Comic-Con. But I would stay up and look at every single house and save the ones that had furniture that I wanted to order later. And it was truly amazing to see what people designed. But I also, it was a love-hate thing in the sense of like, I loved getting to see people's designs, but I hated seeing every single Nintendo item room, balloon furniture room. I was just like, oh my goodness, come on. Like, I get it. We got Nintendo things. They're cool. But does everybody need a Nintendo room? I don't think so. I would really, really like to see some variety here. And mostly it bugged me because you couldn't order those items either.
Right.
If any of the special items, you couldn't order from the Street Pass. And so I was bummed. I was bummed about that. But regardless, it still worked really well. There were still tons of things that I was happy to get in that game. So I really liked it.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So now these are going to be the weird ones here because we're going to get into the spin-offs. We had a long time between New Leaf and New Horizons where Animal Crossing was basically a spin-off machine. So the first one was Happy Home Designer. Sergio, what was your favorite there?
The favorite thing would be the way that you use the way you do interior decorating, the user interface there with the touchscreen. It's so intuitive. It works so well, and now we have it, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean that one. It's basically they're taking that UI and transforming it as well as they can with the controller. But just using your stylus and the touch screen was like, oh my goodness, was that easy?
Right.
I still kind of want to go back to being able to just like grab the characters and move them around really quickly, or grab an item and move it. It's just, yeah, it was the perfect way to really do the home decor in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nina, what was your favorite thing in Happy Home Designer?
It was actually placing furniture hanging from the ceiling. I miss those like lamps that we could hang, and there was a really cool like seagull that would flap its wings, and there were vines. I miss those a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah, there were so many good items.
There
And it's
were.
funny because I'm okay. I'll give you all a little bit of spoilers for the topic of the video that I'm trying to get done for Friday. But I'm working on a video where I kind of talk about things that are in New Horizons that I want in New Horizons. And I know that's a confusing thing to say because they're already in the game, right? But no, they're not things that there are things in the game that we can't use, and I want them, but. In the aquarium specifically, there are some ceiling lamps that are hanging, and I'm just like, if the museum can have hanging ceiling items, why can't my house have that?
Yeah.
You know? So I agree. I almost picked ceiling items, but I had something else in mind for mine.
Tell us yours.
Okay, mine is room dimensions. So it's a little known thing, but if you actually go and I guess if you go back to a character's house that you've already designed, you will unlock the ability to add rooms and even change the dimensions of those rooms. Even like the first time you kind of choose their house, you can pick what dimensions you want, but that feature alone is incredible. It's one that I definitely want to be able to do in this game where, like, you know, we have basically these two rectangular rooms, which are great. The basement and the upstairs are all, you know, just wider than the other rooms, but the other ones are all squares, you know? And there's not really a way to change their I guess, length and width at all. So
Right.
I would really like maybe Nook's homes to return. Maybe Lyle, Digby, and Lottie are in charge now, and they give us the ability to really decorate, I guess, customize our homes in ways that aren't possible now, you know?
Gosh, I played a lot of Happy Home Designer, and I don't think I ever knew to go back and change the dimensions or anything. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because you have so many different options with that game, and there's some that I really wish we had. Like, for one, we could choose like different doorways and different paths between the doors and
Yeah.
everything, so it's like really interesting.
Ooh.
We could change the types of windows that we have and the curtains that are hanging on them. They really went all out with the customization that you could do in that game, and I really thought it was going to reach that level in New Horizons, but clearly the focus was the exterior of our islands, you know? So I'll just keep
Right.
waiting for that update that lets us go crazy with the interior.
Yeah, that game is deeper than it seems. So if anybody is a new Animal Crossing fan and hasn't bought that game, if you have a 3DS still, I would suggest trying it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cheap right now, too. It's like $20 brand new if you want it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a great one. All right, so this next one is Amiibo Festival.
Our favorite
Not
game.
the most loved game, but
What are you talking about?
you're right. It's the best Animal Crossing game ever made. No contest whatsoever. It's beautiful. So let's talk about it. Sergio, what's your favorite thing about Amiibo Festival?
My favorite thing is the fact that you can play as KK Slider. It's,
Oh,
as far as I
what
know,
a good one.
it's the only game where you can do that. And you know, it's not even full control. It's more like telling him where to go left or go right,
Yeah.
because he walks on his own and everything. But you know, it's the closest we've gotten.
That's true. Okay, I have to ask though, how many KK Slider amiibo do you have?
I think about 16.
Whoa.
Yeah. And you tried this. You can play as 4 KK Sliders.
I think you can.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know because I don't have multiples of any of the Animal Crossing characters. Actually, I have a bunch of Isabels. I should go and try it and see if I can play as 4
Yeah.
Isabels. I have, well, let me see, how many do I have? I think there's 3 figures, and I don't think the cards work for the board game mode, so I have 3 Isabel figures. I'm gonna go see if I can play. I'd have to plug in my Wii U and then, I don't know, dig Amiibo Festival out of the trash to do it.
Trash.
But
I would love to replay it, but my Wii U stopped reading discs.
right.
Oh.
Honestly, okay, like if they had online on this game, I would love it so much more.
That would be
Yes.
fun.
It would be so fun. Like just have a casual Friday night with everybody playing Amiibo Festival online. Make it 8 players and make it online. It's gonna be the
Ooh.
next deluxe game that's announced by Nintendo. I
I'd
know
buy
it.
I'd buy it.
Honestly, I would. If they bundle in a couple new amiibo for some new characters, if they just
Ooh.
start making a whole nother set of amiibo for Animal Crossing, you know for a fact I'm gonna do it.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nina, I mean, you love this game, unable to play it. What's your favorite thing?
I really had a fun time unlocking all the outfits for the board players. So I would like try and mix and match which amiibo figures I was playing with, so that I could unlock all the characters. I mean, all the outfits, and it was so much fun. It made me keep going back to the game and seeing what was next.
And they have some really cute outfits.
They
I love
do.
that.
Reese and
Whenever-
Cyrus have like these bomber jackets that they wear and stuff. I love it.
Yes, I'm all about their outfits. I really want to see them change a lot more. At least like the special characters. Like I don't know. I want to walk into Able Sisters and see like, oh, it's summer these days. I guess the aprons make a lot of sense during the summer, but say it turns into fall. What if we see our little hedgehog girls wearing some
my
really cute
gosh.
sweaters and things?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I always feel bad for the special characters that are out in my plaza when it's raining. I feel like I've said this before. They need rain gear. It makes no sense to me.
Digby wore a raincoat like nobody's business.
Don't
He's
even
the
get
cutest.
me started with Digby. I miss him so much. I was
He
so
is the
mad when he
dang cutest.
lost. Yes, your Amiibo Festival tournament, he lost like immediately.
Oh.
I'm so sorry about. I mean, I had to be unbiased and be as fair as possible in the game, and it just didn't work out for him.
No.
You know.
And
but I
he's-
definitely had characters I was rooting for. I'll be honest there.
Yeah. He's actually the only amiibo I've had to buy an extra one of because my dog ate the first one. He was so jealous.
Oh man. I mean, if your dog can tell how good looking that dog is, we got to bring him back.
Yes.
Okay, my favorite thing, Desert Island Escape. It was just easily the best game available on that whole thing. I mean, the board game had its little cute quirks and everything, but it wasn't as interesting a game as Desert Island Escape was, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that game was so good that they added it in the update for New Leaf, so people could play it beyond, I guess, Amiibo Festival. And that's also a really good thing because a lot more people had a 3DS than a Wii U. So just playing Desert Island Escape on the Wii U was going to be a rare kind of occurrence for people. And a lot of them already had a 3DS. So I'm really glad that they were able to, spread the love a little bit for that game because it's cute. Hexagons are the best shape in the world and I love them. All right. Last spin-off before New Horizons, but Pocket Camp, the mobile game. This one's free for anybody who hasn't played it. Honestly, if anybody hasn't downloaded and played Pocket Camp, there is a lot of game for you to enjoy if you are just starting it today. I know for me and, probably Sergio and Nina, like we played it day one throughout the whole thing. So, we are pretty complete with our experience in that. So any new thing that they added was like, okay, cool, finally, something else. But if you're starting today, it's like all of that stuff is available from the get-go.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
There's a lot of game to enjoy in there. It's not too bad. But Sergio, what's your favorite thing from Pocket Camp?
It's the fact that it made it very easy to meet new villagers, both the animal villagers as well as players. Whenever you visited an area, you would find maybe one of each or at least one of them. So it was very nice to see a lot of variety of villagers in the game itself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were some that Animal Crossing's a hard game to really see everybody, so just having one little game where you have kind of the freedom to have your favorite villagers with you at all times, like that's pretty nice. And it lets people meet a lot of villagers that they didn't necessarily know before. So yeah, I agree with that. I think it's really cool. Nina, what was your favorite thing?
Mine kind of goes hand in hand with that because I actually really liked, once they fixed it, I really liked Gulliver's Boat kind of mini game.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that it was kind of one of those idle games where you would send him off and then you could wait for him to come back. Because I felt like Pocket Camp with some of the other events, you were having to log in so many times a day to get all the items that it was a little overwhelming at times. So I liked the little Gulliver's Island game, and I liked unlocking new villagers that way too. It gave me something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, that Gulliver thing was so broken when it first came out. It was not good. And, luckily everybody complained, but clearly, I don't think Nintendo had any idea that it was going to go as badly as it did.
Right.
Because it took them probably a month to fix that. Probably more. I don't remember at this point, but it took them so long to fix that aspect of it that I was just like, man, is this worth it? And it wasn't. I waited for the update and I was like, I'm not touching this feature until it is ready.
But then they made it super fun.
Yeah, no, it's so much better now. I like it now. Yeah. My favorite thing, and this is going to be a little bit of a dig at New Horizons, but my favorite thing about Pocket Camp is that you could place rugs outside. You can't do that in New Horizons for whatever reason. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but it's not the right way to do things. So let me place my rugs outside. They would be so much cuter out there. I'd find way more uses for them. I've got some rugs down in the room we're in right now, but let me put them outside too. That'd be great.
Man, and how cool would it be if you could start layering those rugs?
Oh my goodness. Yes. 100% yes.
That would be
I'm
amazing.
all about that. All right. Finally, we're here at New Horizons, the most latest and greatest Animal Crossing game that has ever graced us. So, Sergio, oh my god. Okay, I read both of your answers right now. Should I just say it? All of our favorite things?
I think so.
Decorating outside.
Yes.
That is by far our favorite thing about this game.
Yes.
Decorating outside is... We talked about this slightly in the New Leaf discussion with, having the mayor role, being able to place some public works projects and everything, but there were a lot of limitations with that. And now being able to just freely put anything outside except for rugs, it's amazing. And, other stuff that you can hang on the walls. Come on, Nintendo, fix this. But really, decorating outside, it's incredible. Sergio, tell me, what's your favorite thing that you've decorated in this game so far?
Well, I guess it kind of counts because I use them outside. It's the paths, the custom paths, but the fact that you can have transparency in them now, so you can make diagonal ones or even segmented ones. Like you see a lot of little stones or path pavers that people are doing for pathing. It's so good. And then with the outdoor decorating, pretty much any island is not going to look like any other. It allows you for a lot of uniqueness to your design and your layout.
Yeah, there's so much variety, but you're totally right. We've gone to your island and we're always amazed with how much work you've put into those paths and everything. And it's just incredible that they I feel like I mentioned at one point the transparent pattern idea, and I'm so happy that they actually made it happen, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Nina, what's your favorite thing that you decorated?
Um, gosh, I- I'm actually quite proud of the library that I've made. It's not the newest thing that I've made, but it's probably one of the biggest things that I've made. And I just like that, with New Leaf, you could only place the really big objects outside. But in New
Right.
Horizons, you can do all the little tiny details and you can kind of clutter things up and make it look lived in. And I really like that look on the islands.
Yeah, that is really cool. Okay, you both know what I've been working on for a long time, but I'm antsy now to start creating different little areas in the game, because
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the whole fun behind what we're able to do. So I want to get to that point for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my favorite thing that I've decorated outside thus far is definitely my neighborhood area. I'm starting to get it a lot more put together. I guess I'll show you all after a little update tour. I am
Cool.
moving some things around because of course I am. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's coming together. It's starting to feel like a little village where my campers live, and I'm even starting to, well, why'd I say campers? My islanders. I don't know what to call them, villagers. But yeah, I'm starting to get it to the point where I want to start adding new characters, like new player characters, and start creating little things around them. I've been making a list actually, and I'm gonna have a little tavern essentially that's more of
Ooh.
a shopping district kind of area where there's gonna be
Ooh.
like a tailor, a bunch of different people with their own little shops in that
Cool.
room. And so the other thing that I want to do is I want to make a little tea house, I guess, where it's
Oh.
like somebody who makes like a bunch of little gardens and stuff. So yeah, I've got ideas. And I want to make a school for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's getting to that point where I'm like, oh, there's so many things that I want to do, and I'm going to start placing people and start decorating around this place and really just make it amazing, you know?
That's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was a lot of games to go through. We all had some pretty good things to say, I'd say. I mean, I made it tough for a reason. I wanted us to only pick one to make it as hard as possible. But, between the three of us, I think we covered a lot of things that are generally pretty well liked in those games, But I'm sure you all have your own favorite things, so be sure to leave comments about them for sure. But for now, let's go ahead and move on to a discussion about our week of visitors. So, in New Horizons, we've got a rotating cast of special characters, and these characters, there's more than 5 of them, so they can only appear Monday through Friday. So that means we're not going to see some of them some weeks, and others we're going to see maybe too many weeks, but we're going to talk about them in general. And my first question for both of you is, who do you hope to see on your island the most? And I've actually got a little poll for the chat here, so I'm going to put that in here for all of you to answer as well. You can pick one, of course, but be sure to answer this poll so we can get an idea of who you like. But Nina, who do you like to see the most?
Um, as much as I love my pirate friend Gullivar, I still have to say every time I see Red's ship on the back island or the back beach, I get so excited. I still love the little art mini game, trying to pick which ones are real. And then the next day, you get to go to the museum and read about the artwork. It's just my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I mean I love how built out that information is with the art for
Yes.
sure. Like it's the gift that keeps on giving. Like you don't know what you're gonna see once you go in there. You don't know what is gonna. I guess I don't know. I don't look up the art, so I don't know if it's real or fake until I actually go and donate it. So to some extent, you don't know if it's gonna be a real piece or not. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, once it's there, you can finally go and check it out, and it looks amazing.
Hmm. And I've gotten
Yeah.
pretty lucky the last couple times that Red has come because the little side items that he sells have been colors I've never seen before. So that's been really
Oh,
fun too.
nice.
Yeah, that is really good too because it is so hard to find some of those different colored items if they're not in your shops at all. You know,
Yeah.
because you only get like one kind in your actual island,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know. It's hard to be a collector in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sergio, who do you hope to see the most?
Yeah, definitely red also because, it's going to take a while if we're going to be just kind of randomly guessing at the art. It's going to take a while to complete the museum. So every little baby step we get towards it, yeah, it's good to see red. Other than that, I like Sahara because I still like seeing what wallpaper or flooring we might get. And if I happen to get extras, I use those for gifts just to give to people. So it's good to have like a supply of gifts handy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with both of you. Red is definitely exciting to see. For me, though, there are a couple of close seconds, and that's CJ and Flick.
Oh, wow.
It's mostly because my storage space is so full right now because I have three of everything. And I need them to show up a little bit more so I can get more of these items. And this is actually part of my inspirations for creating more new characters. That way, I can put some fish outside and they can also get some models for me and I can start clearing things out. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the poll now. And Quantrell made a good point that this should probably be, besides red, who do you look forward to most?
Yeah.
Besides Red.
Because the winner was definitely red in this. We had a total of 18 votes here. Red got 10 of them, so more than
Wow.
half. Flick got 3 votes, and then with 1 vote, we had CJ, Gullivar, Kix, Leaf, and Sahara. Then
Wow.
Gulliver and Label got no votes whatsoever.
Oh,
Oh, those poor two.
I'm a little
Cool, so
surprised
yeah.
that Flick got second.
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually am too, because maybe it's because the summer right now there's so many bugs to catch, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of like expensive ones that are pretty good to find. So, yeah, I wonder why Flick, and just in general, the character is also really good too.
Yeah,
So,
he is. Plus, the bug
yeah.
models look way cooler than the fish models.
Oh yeah, they're so awesome. They feel a lot more usable in the game too. Yeah. All right. So alternatively, who are you least excited to see on your island? And I have a poll for this one too. So here you all go. You can go ahead and answer that. But Sergio, who are you least excited to see?
I'm sorry, Chewy, but it's Leaf.
Oh, my baby. Why?
Well, mostly because I have plenty of shrubs already on my island, and I have some on storage, and I have flowers of each kind, and also on storage. I do need red roses, yellow roses right now because for breeding purposes. But even so, yeah, when I see leaf, I'm like, oh, okay,
But can I make a counter argument really
yeah,
quickly?
yeah, sure.
What if you could have more shrubs in your storage and on your island?
Or trees.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, different trees.
And what if you could have more trees without Isabel telling you it's not a 5-star island?
Yeah.
Why is that not a thing? I already want to go crazy with trees, and I'm trying so hard not to because I need those 5 stars. I want that golden watering can just for the reward. Now that I finally made a golden slingshot and found out that was a done nooked mile thing, I need it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. So Nina, who are you least excited to see?
Well, now I need to apologize to Sergio because my least favorite is Sahara. She talks a
no.
lot. She takes all my money, and most of the flooring and carpets that she sells don't go with my themed island. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
really
for
don't have
sure.
a lot of use for her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if we could put the rugs outside, it'd be a little better.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
then things would change for sure.
Oh man, and then she could also sell like the noises your feet make for different patterns and paths. So then
Oh.
wouldn't
Yes.
that be cool? Because then Sergio, your cute little wooden paths could creak like little wooden panels. I would love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. You can okay. We already talked about Happy Home Designer. I want to mention this one last thing about it, but you can choose background sounds in that
Yes,
game.
yes.
What?
You can choose like
Oh.
little coffee shop talking sounds. You can choose ocean sounds. It's crazy. And that's all layered on top of the music that you choose to play.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I agree. I want to be able to choose what sounds my paths make for sure because I tried doing paths on my island that were like the custom ones, and just the fact that it wasn't making those satisfying like sounds that the other paths make, I aborted that mission right away.
Oh man, that would be amazing though.
I wish. I
Yes,
wish so
yes.
bad. Yeah. Okay, so the one I'm least excited to see, and I just got her this past week, Label. I'm sorry, Label, but
Oh,
you're just kind of not Gracie.
oh no.
I don't know what it was. I guess the fact that Gracie actually like opens up a shop on your town and all of a sudden you got access to all of this like special seasonal catalog,
Yeah.
I like that aspect to it, and I don't think Label's own design is as cute as the Gracie design. I don't know what it is about the little Target polka dot things that Gracie has going on, but I love those.
Aw. Chewy, don't lie. You just like it when people are mean to you.
No. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it. It's because I like to be snarky back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the poll results here. And it looks like a lot of people agree with me here, but Label far in the lead. There were 22 votes total, and she got 10 of
Wow.
them. Followed by Leaf, who got 4 votes, and then Sahara, who got 4 votes. So all of our options are at the top there for people.
We are.
And then regular Gulliver, probably because of the sting that it's not Gullivar.
Yeah.
They got 2 votes. Kix got 1 vote, and Red got 1 vote.
Red?
Who's the red
What?
hater in this group? What is going
You
on?
need to leave right now.
Red is universally loved. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, there must be a reason. Maybe Red's just cheated you one too many times
I
to
mean,
get
That's
your
true.
vote.
Yeah.
He is a little sleazy. And his
He's
boat
so
is
sleazy.
polluting the air.
That's true. Have you seen that thing needs to get a smog check for sure.
Yeah.
That
It
boat
needs to
has
stop
never
by
passed an
OK Motors
inspection.
and get fixed up. Yeah. All right. So I've got some more questions. Unfortunately, no more polls for all of you because these are a little bit too open-ended for that. But I wanted to ask you both, who visited your island this past week? I'll start with this actually because I have been tracking this stuff very closely. But this week I had Monday through Friday. That's the order I'm listing them in. I got Flick, followed by Gulliver, disappointing a little bit, but still cool. Label, definitely disappointing for me. CJ, always needed, always helpful. Thank you for coming, CJ. And then Gullivar, so a lot less disappointed that Gulliver came the first time because he did come through as a pirate for me later.
What did you get from
Nice.
him?
I got the pirate outfit. So I am an actual pirate now. I'll put it on. Maybe I'll just give it to you for now, Nina,
I'll put it
so
on.
you can wear it around. But yeah, I got those, and Flick and CJ always they're welcome because I need my closet space, and it's just gone right now. Gulliver and Gullivar, I still really like getting Gulliver because there are tons of like special Gulliver items
Yeah.
in the game. So. Always pretty helpful, but of course, the new pirate stuff to get is great. And Label, I had to force myself to do her thing. I have so many Able Sisters tickets now. Should I just do a giveaway for them because I don't use them. They're
that's not a
taking
bad
up a
idea.
slot in my inventory in my closet right now.
You don't use them when
Yeah.
you're buying clothes?
Apparently not, because I just throw them in my closet real quick and then forget about them.
Yeah, you forget. Yeah.
Yeah, so I checked recently. I'll check right now, actually. But I had like 5 in there.
Wow.
So,
Well, while
no,
you're
I'm at
doing that,
7.
I might show off my little boots over here.
Wow,
Oh no, I
7.
can't. I forgot. I'm wearing the pirate boots right now. I'm so excited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're cute. I love them.
Mm-hmm. They've got the little skulls on them. It's the best.
Yeah. Oh man, the skulls are amazing. Cool. So I guess Sergio, who did you get this past week?
Just going off memory, I believe this is the right order. I got CJ, Gullivar, I got Sahara, which was great. I got Kicks and Label on Friday.
Nice. What did
Those
you
are
get
great
from
ones.
Gullivar?
I got I think it's like a pirate crown.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
There's so many items that Gullivar has, and I've seen like 2 of them, and I've only seen them once on my island. The only reason I've seen 2, well, I guess 3 now. I just saw your shoes, Nina, but somebody didn't want the barrel with the crossbones, and I was like, "Are you kidding? That's like the thing I want most," and they gave it to me, so I was happy with that.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Nina, I guess who did you get this past week?
So I got Flick, then Sahara, then Label, then Red, then CJ.
Oh, nice.
Those are fun.
Yeah, and I was excited. I hadn't seen Red and Label in forever, so I was really excited that I got to see them. And I'm really liking this update for the visitors. I'm getting a much better rotation now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is good. I mean, that is one of the really important changes that were made with the last update, just because a lot of people were noticing just how hard it was to see some characters that they really wanted to see, specifically Red. And so they changed up how they appeared. They changed that KK Slider played on Sundays instead of Fridays. So he's here for me today. I need to get a song from him in a couple hours. It's not quite time yet, but...
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm always excited to get a new KK Slider song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all 3 of us had great weeks because there's no leaf anywhere.
Hey, my baby. Don't you harm my little sloth. I love that kid.
Well, and I had so much fun with Label. I don't know what's wrong with you two. She wanted me to dress up in a goth theme, and I was on my stream this week, so we had so much fun with Label.
Yeah, I mean, she wanted me to dress up for a party, and she gave me like a business coat thing, and I was just like, what kind of party is this? This is boring.
It's one of those office holiday parties.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, listen, Label, if it were around the holidays, I would love this. But right now, I don't think I'm feeling it. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and answer just a couple more questions, I believe. We've got this one that says, what characters would you like to see added to the rotation in the future? So for those of you who are, keeping track of Animal Crossing news, we're going to get an update pretty soon for August. And while we can assume that fireworks are going to be there, we don't quite know what else is going to make it. So I wanted to ask both of you, who are you hoping they add? Sergio, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Katrina. I don't know if it's going to be in August, but down the line, I really want to see Katrina back. It would be very nice if whenever she's there, or depending on what you get, good luck or bad luck, it would be nice if it really changes your day for that time, like a lot of good luck or a lot of bad luck.
Yeah, the luck system is something that's like completely gone from the game. Like there is no luck in New Horizons.
Yeah.
There's just pure skill,
I do kind of miss face planting in New Leaf.
Yeah, you could put on that King Tut mask and just trip all over the place,
And then if you were holding a balloon, it would like drift off sadly into the air.
Oh, I never tried that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you'd lose your balloon.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good choice, Sergio. I mean, I didn't think I'd miss Katrina, but I actually kind of do.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Yeah. So, Nina, who would you bring back?
I'd love to see Harriet again. I think it'd be super cool
Ooh.
if she had like a little salon set up, and then maybe you could get makeup or face paint or like multicolored hair. That would especially be fun if she came like around holidays. Like for Halloween, you could get like purple and orange, or you could get like sparkly things for New Year's. And then maybe if she comes enough, she could set up above the Able sisters. But I miss
Oh.
having more hair options.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, Harriet, whatever. We don't need her. She's not very
Hmm.
important, and we can just like choose things really quickly." And yes, that's pretty helpful, but I don't know. I feel like there's some room for her to really expand what we're able to do with our hairstyles, with our overall look of our characters. Maybe we
Yeah.
can wear our me masks again. I don't know.
Hmm. Or
Ooh.
I
like
mean, it'd be a little
ombre
scary
hair.
maybe, but it'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, so my pick, and it's funny because we have actually seen these characters in New Horizons, but I actually want Reese and Cyrus to come back, and I want them to do something specific, and it's something we talked about just a little bit earlier, but they need to customize the items that we can't customize.
Hmm.
Like everything that we collect that just isn't a customizable thing makes me sad
Oh,
because there are
yes.
alternate like colors and stuff for them. So I would love if that gave us a workaround for it, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of dumb because we should just be able to customize them on our own from the get-go, but you know, I I just it's not possible right now. So just give them a job. Let them do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
We've got some cute little answers in the chat too. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
s-
Go for it. Read some of them.
like Lois was laughing and she said she wants Shrunk back. I guess she misses
I
his terrible jokes.
yeah, I'm missing all the characters I didn't think I'd miss.
Islander T wants DJ KK back.
That's a good
Nice. I
one.
agree.
Sergio,
Yeah.
you into it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Mandy was saying Serena would be nice. She's not sure what she would do, but that would be interesting to have Serena back.
She would passive aggressively give us silver axes.
Just throw axes at us.
Yep.
Quantrell says he wants Crimson and Carmine to come.
Yes, Red's little nieces, right?
Uh-huh. Red's twin nieces. Yeah. Oh,
That
and
is
Copper and
such a great idea.
Booker.
Oh, Copper and Booker, they're cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. And Carly says, Katie, the traveling kitty. I forgot about that one too.
Yeah.
Clearly, we need this to be Animal Crossing Ultimate. Everybody is here.
Everybody's here. There's just so many characters.
Yeah. And they're great. They're all well loved and amazing. So I want them back.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one more question for you. How would you change the characters in the future as they add more? Because right now, we're getting a rotation of 7 to 9 characters each week. So there's a lot that we're not going to see every week. And as they add more, it's probably going to get a little bit harder,
Mm.
Yeah.
So how would you change that in the future? Sergio, what are you thinking?
Well, I would just remove Leaf completely so that we have more room for.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do much, honestly. I think whatever they did with the last update, it really helped with the rotation. So I would just try to balance it as much as possible with new additions that hopefully they do, just to keep it very, very like the way it is now. It's great.
Mm-hmm. I said the
Yeah.
same thing, Sergio. It's like that biased rotation where you get a certain number of people the first week, and then the second week, if you didn't see that person, they're more likely to show up. I think
Yes,
that
that's
works the
perfect.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is better because, before this, we were guaranteed some characters,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know, it wasn't working for a lot of people. It was making things pretty stale, I think.
Yeah.
And now that I get Red, like since this update, I've gotten Red 2 out of the 3 weeks, so
Wow.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nina, what are you thinking? Just that same thing?
Yeah, that biased rotation. I think, especially if they're going to be adding more characters, that it has to be balanced out somehow. So I think
Yeah.
that's the only way they could continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, and this might be the opposite of
Uh-oh.
what you were thinking, Sergio, but not in the way you think. I would give some of the characters that are rotating right now their own shops.
Yes,
Personally,
yes.
like, I want Leaf to have a shop and introduce more greenery and more plant items to the game. You know, I think it'd be cute if you had a little garden shop with rotating items, but
Yeah.
I think that'll maybe become more relevant once we get like, the vegetable pack of things where we're actually farming in Animal Crossing. I mean, that's still speculation for now. We don't know if it's happening, but if it does, I think it's time for Leaf to stop being in the rotation. Clearly, a lot of people don't want him to be in the rotation. Shame on you all. But if he had his own shop, I think a lot of people would like it. I think a lot of people would like that it just makes the chances a little bit better for other characters to appear that they actually want to see. And then on top of that, like, you get another cute, oh my goodness, a garden shop in your town would look adorable. I think it would look so cute. And to decorate around it would be great too. You can make a little farm around him because it's Leaf, obviously.
I mean, I think you're right that right now Leaf doesn't deserve a shop, but if they add those vegetables and maybe more house plants and things, then absolutely, I'm all for Leaf having a shop. And Brewster.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say there's definitely some things that would make it really work,
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So let's go ahead and close out the show with Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read some of their answers out loud here on the show. This week's question was, who is your favorite unpopular villager? So feel free to leave those in our chat right now. We'll be going through some of our Haken Islanders and some people watching here on YouTube. So let's go ahead and go me, then Nina, then Sergio. And yeah, what do you think?
Okay.
That's good.
Cool. So the first answer is from Winnie World, and they said, Canberra. She was with me from the beginning, and I love her with my whole heart now. People think she's ugly, but she looks so dumb. It's so cute. I love that. Okay, so like whenever there's like kind of an ugly villager, I always think of this scene from Ant-Man where he comes over and gives his daughter a doll, and it's like hideous, and his daughter's reaction is, "It's so ugly. I love it." So yeah. Yeah, I love those ugly villagers. I think you just need one. They're great.
And I had Canberra in New Leaf. I like her a lot. She's nice.
Yeah, I like her. I'm a koala fan, so I'm all about them.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, well, Gia says, I actually think Barreled is kind of cute. And then she put a little like embarrassed emoji face. He's got great fashion sense with that tiger print shirt and bright pink lipstick. No.
I'm a Barreled fan too. I think he's got like this 5 o'clock shadow thing going on.
He's a cub, right?
Yeah, he's a bear cub.
Yeah.
He kind
He's
of
a bear
looks
and
like
he's old.
kind of looks like a caveman, doesn't he?
I'd say a bit, yeah.
Yeah. It's part of the charm.
Yeah. I like him.
Nice. Nikki Coburn said, I love Beardo. He's so sweet, and I love his Sherlock Holmes vibe.
Jackie was looking at some different characters because she found she didn't have a smug on her island. She kind of needed one. And so she was looking at the smug characters. And obviously, we have all the Animal Crossing amiibo cards, so we can just pick anybody to live on our island.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was looking at Beardo, and she was looking at something specific on Beardo, and she was like, why is this the design choice for this character? But yeah, just look at his tummy.
Yeah. Instead of
And
having
then-
chest hair, he has tummy hair.
Yeah, the tummy hair. It's distracting.
Fluff to keep
Cool.
warm in the winter.
Yeah. Cool. So our next answer is from Lagoon Games, and they said, I think mine is probably Coach. His little dad beard is so funny. Wart Jr. is also adorable. I think he's unpopular, right? I think Wart Jr. is hilarious. I love that he's a junior and not a senior. Like, that's already just great.
Yeah.
But I think, is Coach one of the bulls?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Does he wear a little helmet?
No. He has
No?
he wears the it's like the racing, like the running
with the
shirt.
sash. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm looking him up now because I want to be able to picture this.
I don't know if I could ever have Wart Jr. in my town because I'm a picker. I could never. I just want to pick him. It's not good.
No. Well, we'll keep him away then. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's Coach. He's cute. I think he's fine.
Yeah. All right. So Happy Fox says, Frida, a lot of people hate her fast food aesthetic, especially because of her new leaf render, but I love her since she randomly moved into my partner's new leaf town. She just makes me think of food, so I get hungry talking to her. Don't take a bite while you're talking to her, though.
Yeah, you don't want to eat the animals.
And she, gosh, I don't think I've ever had Frida in my town, but her like fur or her wool is made of fries, but isn't the back of her head like a hamburger bun?
I think so.
I don't know where they come up with some of these designs.
They're just amazing.
They are.
Nice. So HH said, Jitters. I could not be more obsessed with him. He was my first villager in New Horizons and an odd favorite of mine in Wild World. I let him move off of my island and I have regretted it every day. But I can only hope I will get him back one way or another. His anxious eyes just kill me. So cute. Kind of Pete Davidson-like.
Yeah, he's got real dark circles around his eyes.
Yeah, Jitters makes me think of like Chocolate Boy from Hey Arnold. Like he's just like really hooked on chocolate and it's not good for him anymore.
He's been around the block.
Yeah. Cool. So I think it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So Odd Bunny said, Tabby the cat with the big grin, mostly because my little sister really likes her, which made me appreciate her more myself. I actually got my sister her amiibo card, but accidentally ordered it twice, so I have one as well. She's like a weird stray cat I've adopted. So I can relate to this in a big way because, like, I'd say before Pocket Camp, I wasn't really huge on the gorillas and everything. And then Pocket Camp was Jackie's first game that she ever played. And when she first saw, like, the gorilla characters, she was like, oh, awesome, a gorilla. And I was just like, gorillas are really cool. Why have I been hating on them this whole time?
Wow.
And so now I just really like the gorilla characters and, you know, kind of a lot of those characters that people tend to not like, you know? And I don't know, it just helps to hear somebody close to you really appreciate a character, and then you can kind of see them in a different way, you know?
Absolutely. I feel
And
like,
that said, what were you going to say?
I feel like people are split on Tabby. I see a lot of people hate on her, and then I see a lot of people like fiercely defend her also.
I was going to say, I'm in the camp of fiercely defending Tabby.
Yeah.
I love her.
Great
I
smile.
I think she's just like incredibly wacky and charming. And I love that she's like peppy. Like that's her character. And I'm just like, she would be so perfect in my, what's the word I'm looking for? My Halloween island. I feel like some characters just fit an aesthetic really well. And so that I'm inviting her pretty soon. I'm a fan.
That'll be cute.
Nice.
Yeah. And just a side note, there's one character that I really like that also kind of gives me these vibes, but it's Bella the mouse. She's kind of like that evil looking mouse.
Yes.
She would be perfect on a little Halloween island.
Yeah, definitely.
She's just so like mean looking, but she's also peppy too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun to have those weird characters.
Let's see. Emily says Freckles. She was one of my Wild World villagers, and I absolutely adored her because she moved to my village from my childhood best friend's village. She's so cute, and I'd love to meet her again in New Horizons. No, she's a duck, isn't she?
Yeah,
A pink duck.
she looks awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cute. I like her too.
Yeah. I mean, I have trouble hating. I mean, except for Rasher. I have trouble hating villagers.
Rasher just needs some love. He's been attacked.
I'll let you take care of him.
Just give him a bandage accessory and see if he wears it.
You can do that.
You know what? He's probably going to be on my Halloween island. He gives me a good Halloween
Yeah.
vibe too.
That's true.
So I'll give him a bandage then, and I'll tell you if it works.
Okay, let me know.
Nice. Well, our last answer from the Patreon answers is from Seth Window, and they said, Rodney gets no respect, I tell ya. Giving it up for Leham. His home decor looks like the inside of Shenanigans.
That's like that food chain, isn't it?
I've never been inside of a shenanigan, so I don't know, but just that alone makes me really happy.
I think it's a West Coast food chain.
I wouldn't know. I guess I've never been.
Yeah, I haven't heard
I've
of
never
it.
been either, but I feel like it's one of those food chains that has like just stuff all over the walls. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Oh.
great. That's like, what I want my house to be all the time. Yeah. And I want to make a note too, like in general, I like the kangaroos. So Rodney, great choice.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChewyPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chewy Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tune in on YouTube. The comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Who is your favorite unpopular villager? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is Wild production brought to you by Chewy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys next time.